What is going on? Welcome back. Happy to be recording the new breakdown in the new studio. Cannot really see that much of it on this one. Let's switch to this view. Woo! There we go. Security cam. Not really security cam though. Yeah, I think I'm gonna give you a proper update on how the studio is looking soon, if I have not done so already on Instagram or something. But today we're gonna look at the track First Summer from HK actually. So
That's me. Um, so we're gonna go through the track. I'm a redneck from America.
okay, let's get into the breakdown, shall we? So this is the project file. As many of you already noticed, it's a sample. It's not summertime sadness, summer summer madness by Cool and the Gang. And with this one, obviously, we're going a little bit deeper. Than usual. That's why it's released under the HK. You could also say it's a little bit, back to the old Joko times or wherever. Because I keep them more separate now, the aliases with the style of music. But with this one, we go in deep. So when we go deep, I don't want to use these like super crazy distorted 909 kicks usually. And I like to dive more into the kind of Romanian minimal underground sample packs which are out there. Found one here sounding like this. Super deep. Doesn't really have any high tops on it yet. This was the other one I found, but was already too heavy because I wanted it to be like a really, really subtle groover. So this one did the job just fine. Then, how do we continue? Maybe the 909 head. Didn't even use any processing on this one, as you can see here. Not needed. Felt good like it is. And with the super deep tracks, usually I don't really like. I want the drum elements to, be able to fill the frequency spectrum a little bit as well. Because it doesn't really depend on having the biggest effect or to have the bass line stand out as much as it needs to with the other club tracks that I'm doing, where it really heavily depends on the bass line in the track, and usually you want to get everything frequency wise out of the way of the bass line, but with these kind of deep tracks, where the bass line plays a more subconscious role or a more sub role to the track, it doesn't really matter that much, So stuff like hats, which usually have a little bit of low end left in them or something, I tend to just leave as they are because it adds a certain character to the track which you usually don't have. So for the closed hi-hat here, I left it. And then let's see how we continued. A shaker here. And followed by a clap. And as you see here in the project, It's a pre-shifted clap. One of the claps, this one on the top here, is also from a Romanian pack, and it's shifted a little bit to the front, so it hits a little bit before. As you can see here, the peak is definitely a little bit to the front, and the other one I put in is way to the back, So these little timing imperfections, if you line it with the kick, those can make a really cool live atmosphere or create a little more live atmosphere, and these sometimes help to really make the track come alive. So let me put them maybe on the exact timing as you would maybe do it usually. I loop the area, so it's cool as well, it works. But I felt like having it a little bit shifted, and a little bit chaotic made it come alive a little bit more. Those are like subtle little things, and I wouldn't say they wouldn't make the track bad in the end or something if done otherwise, but these are like the little details which you just need to find out for yourself if you like them or not. Also, what I did is to really, really shorten the decay of the sample, like this. And to have this little curve sitting on top here, which you can then adjust as well. It's kind of going into the settings of your sampler or simpler and just tweaking the knobs over there. But I like to see how the audio is behaving, I like to see the visual reference directly. And to do it like this, you can see how the waveform slowly vanishes, once you do these kind of things. So yeah, shorten the decay on both. So if you would have them like this. You can feel like it's dragging a little bit over time. And especially for, again, the deep and minimal tracks, I like to really make it snappy and live and, minimal, so to say. I would say this is a big part of the minimal genre, is that you don't really have too much crazy reverb or sustain or tails on stuff like the clap or something. And instead of filling it out with like a reverb room or something, you try to fill it out with like little analog glitches or something, which make the magic in these kind of tracks. So this is a track which I've muted, so I can delete this. Also muted, so not needed to show. Let's continue. I think we're almost done already with the drums for this part. It's a super simple project, but you don't want to overwhelm with drums for these kind of tracks, I feel. What is still coming is like a percussion shot over here, taken from a loop which goes like this. So I just used this little part of it. And also, as I did before with the claps, I like to, because it's a bongo hit and it's really harsh sometimes, these kind of percussive elements, I wanted to soften it a little bit. Can almost not hear it, it's just maybe it's a subconscious thing to not make the beat too harsh in the end. So yeah, softened the bongo. Then later on, I layered the beat with a sample from Trauma. It's just a 909 clap basically, so could have used anything else. But maybe had some different plans with the bass or something, you know. But yeah, I just, whenever I like something in a different track or something, I'd like to implement it in my own way. This one is not really noticeable anymore, I would say. So that's fine. It's also at minus 15 dB, you know, so it could have probably went without this whole thing. But it adds in another little bit of interesting layer later on. And with this track, I think I've not done this before, but because I wanted it to have like a really cool texture on top, and not only just one vinyl texture as I always do, you know, but I wanted to give it a little bit more effort in layering my own little texture in this thing. So I searched a few, one of them being this one. The other one being this one. And they also have like these tiny little, glitches, or how do you say it? It's the noise the vinyl makes sometimes. If it's a vinyl, I don't know. Which add also to the groove, I would say, later on. Let's see, and in the context later, I'll show you the last texture I've used, which you can already see by the transients that Ableton put on it, has a little bit more to work with groove-wise. So, all together, sounding like this. Can you hear it? So it adds a little bit to the groove, I would say. And it also, because I've used like a shaker, which is also helping to get that live feel down, you know, and it's really organic, I would say. These ones add also in an organic way and could maybe be seen more as a shaker kind of element to the track. You see? Ding, ding. So really cool, I would say, helping the groove. And then I think from this point on, I've had enough of a metronome going on to dissect the Summertime Madness sample. And we're gonna look together what I did, because I've not looked into the project before yet again. So, Summertime, here is the sample. It's been cut by Ableton already. I always tend to just use the proposed cuts, the proposed transient cuts from Ableton, and just adjust the sensitivity here. You know, you go load in the sample like I did here, and instead of having it on the classic, which is usually the standard one in the beginning, you go to the slice function. And the slice function helps you use the transients already. Usually the same way that Ableton would create like it for the warping of the track. You know, it creates the little cuts here and there to be able to play it in with the keyboard. So this is the first one. So like this, I would just sit there, you know, let the beat roll, like this. And then just, go from there. I want to do like a little bit of a intro kind of thing. So together with the sample being like filtered in the beginning, I looked for a way of not revealing too much of the samples yet, of the sample, and being able to give you a progression in the sample towards the track. So in the beginning, it just plays 2 chords basically, really filtered down. I also have a couple of effects on there. A delay with a ping pong effect on it, an amp. Then I made it mono with the utility. There's the filter I was talking about. Another filter, but with a high pass. Phaser slash flanger, dialed up to 78%. A little bit of an auto pan, a redux, and an erosion. Legacy it's called just because I'm on the latest Ableton, and this is the version that was there before. Just to have, even though when it's filtered down like to the max, when you can almost not hear it anymore, I want it to be a little bit hearable by just being able to pick up the noise, at least it makes, so you have like a little bit of an attack on it. So yeah, it's slowly coming up here, playing just the intro notes. You can see here I used a progression I made, and then later on, when I wanted to have the intro, I just deactivated some of the MIDI notes over here. So this one, this one, this one, this one, this one as well. I usually do this as well in my other tracks to tease the bass line, and not show everything already in the beginning. So I would copy the bass line that I have for the track to the beginning in the intro section, and then just see what I can take away from it, to already give the listener a little bit of what's gonna come, but not revealing too much yet. So I did that here, but with the sample of the Summertime Madness. I keep saying Summertime Sadness. Yeah. So then here we go to the next section where it plays all the MIDI notes. So it's different sections from the sample, obviously, with different chords or something. It's not really super like this. You cannot really hear too crazily the chords changing, but I feel like this is the magic of the sample, that still like every chord feels different. And to help every chord feel different, I have the phaser on there as well, because what the phaser does basically is, like have a bandpass kind of filter running through the sample, picking up different resonances and stuff, I think. At least that's what I was thinking the whole time. But I think this is what it does, and it helps give the same sample a different feel to it every time it's being played. Along with that, another shaker is being introduced over here. And also the bass line is coming in. It's a super simple sub bass made with Diva. I think, okay, good for me. Whatever that means, it's really low passed, and just tries to give a sub. It's a sub bass line, man. Nothing fancy there. But I have it sidechained to the kick, obviously, like I most of the time do. it's an 8-bar loop, the sub sign. And as I said before with the phaser, to help get everything out of a sample, it's always nice to try, let the sample that you created or the loop that you created run, and then try to create different situations with the sub bass, because it can change the chord that is being played like so massively and give it a new feel. And that's what I did here. In the beginning, the bass line goes up, dun, 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 and it really, really elevates, I think, the sample to the next level. A ride being introduced here, which I loved. I wanted it to be not like the classic 909 ride. I wanted it to be like a really jazzy one, not being played straight as well. So I chose a ride which feels more, bellish, so to say, and with a little bit of a delay as well to fill up the lefts and rights, with the velocities going a little bit low and high, like a real jazz player would try to play it. And here, another sample which I've not used. Let's see what that was. Another shaker. Little additional synth which I put in. Also with the diva.
The sound ceased. Suddenly the desolation.
So vocals coming in to fill up the break a little bit with a nice theme. Then a generate pad I've used here. Slowly opening up, not hearable yet, but we're getting there.
In the last years of the 19th century, that human affairs were being watched from the timeless worlds of space.
I was wondering, because as you maybe see here, there's a few elements missing in the track right now, which you can't find, and it's just a little snare roll. So I think you know how to do that, so it's not going to be as important to go through. But yeah, let's see what happened here in the first, so to say, breakdown. I still like to have my structures like that, but additionally to the other cymbal rides which are in there in the track, I have another one doing something like this. Don't know why. This was probably a different ride I was gonna put in, and just fucked around with it basically, and played around with this one.
The sound ceased. Suddenly the desolation.
Vocal coming in here, I took that one from War of the Worlds. The sample disappearing for a little bit.
Believed in the last years of the 19th century that human affairs were being watched from the timeless worlds of space.
Use the cymbal ride again, which I introduced the first break with over here. Again, it's only the snares missing, but yeah, they're not that important, I would say. And then I started to layer the sample which I've used with the same sample again, but a few different. Yeah, I think I had a longer release, to maybe not use it as stabs, which I've done the whole time, but to also use it like a pad, to have a little bit more of sustain on it, for it to play a little bit longer. Because in the original, you have the pads or the Rhodes, which is the main sample now, have it play way longer. So I've, instead of playing additional notes now to give you more, or to give the listener more, I now just keep holding the sample a little bit longer along with the staffs. So let's listen to these ones now by themselves. And also musically, there is a little arpeggiator coming in with a crazy bandpass filter on it, as you can see here. Just wanted it to sit really, really nicely in the background, not take too much space, not take too much of a main character role in the track right now, and just, yeah, let it dingle a little bit in the background. Little high string coming in, a classic thing in house music, I would say. Layered with another string, which is playing like a fifth. The vocal playing again over here.
Suddenly the desolation. The solitude became unendurable.
A little guitar sample.
No one would have believed in the last years of the 19th century that human affairs had been watched from the timeless worlds of space.
And also what we have here in the last part of the track, an additional chord to fill up the groove a little bit. See what it does here. And it could also just be from the same track sampled almost, that's how it feels. But it's a classic Rhodes sample, and if you're going for a deep house track, you almost cannot evade the Rhodes, because it's such a legendary instrument. And I don't know, I'm a sucker for this instrument so much, So there's never enough Rhodes in a track, I would say. That's what I thought here. So I put in another one of the Rhodes samples, along with this new little ARP that was being introduced in the last break.
That human affairs have been watched from the timeless worlds of space.
Has a really cool delay in it as well. Did I take? Yeah, there's in this sample or in this loop from where I picked the little guitar sample, there's like two different kind of situations. One of them where the guitar sample is filtered already, so I didn't have to do that myself. One really high cut, one really low cut, and that was really nice to, have one of each playing like every 8 bars. So you don't need to do the modulation yourself anymore.
Human affairs have been watched from the timeless worlds of space.
I think we haven't gone through these hi-hats yet. These really live hi-hats. So these together looped with a low cut helped elevate the track again, drum-wise, and to fill up the frequency spectrum a little bit. But I didn't want to go back to any of the standard elements that you have for house, because yeah, this is my understanding of what like an organic sound would be like, you know, to only have live elements, live shakers, and these kind of textures sitting on top. This is my understanding of what like an organic house track would sound like, so to say. And apart from that, there's not really that much more happening. I just wanted the track to float, you know, not have too many distractions to it. I think the whole beauty comes from the main sample, obviously, because it's gold, but also from the main sample opening up, going back down again, you know, being layered with its own sample, you know, being layered with the same sample but in a different way, you know, and just trying to get the most out of this one sample or this one loop, the beginning of Summertime Madness. I think Carrie Chandler has used the same sample in his You're in My System remix, or in Atmosphere. Not sure right now. Or track 1, I'm not sure what the actual name is. There's a lot of tracks with this sample, I think, from him. But yeah, this is about it with this track. Probably a little bit of a, yeah, smaller video, or shorter video, let's say it like this. But yeah, hope you learned a little bit from it. And yeah, I'm gonna do a voting on which breakdown you would like to see next. But this was the first one in the new studio. And I'm really happy about this one, or about how the studio came together. And yeah, I'm gonna show you more soon. But until then, peace out, and thanks for being with the Cold Tracks Cave. Pew, pew, pew.